Welcome to another episode of Milesh and Sadie Property Talks. Smart investments, beautiful spaces. We're going to start by telling you a little bit about us. No, we're not, because this episode is all about working with us. Did you like that?
I really liked that. So smooth.
So we're going to talk about what it takes to work with us. I think both of us independently have got a little bit of what does it actually mean to work with you? So
yeah, I've got no idea what you do.
Let's go there. But we're going to start with you.
Oh, fun.
So you've got a couple of offerings, I believe.
We do. So we obviously love to work with clients from start to finish. We say from conception to completion on a project.
Love that.
Because, it's where we add real value. But I will just start by saying we do also offer, which I think you do a similar thing, a one-off consultation. So, if you're starting a project or maybe you're even in the middle of a project and you just need a sounding board, we come in and we do 2 hours sort of in the building, if you like, walking and talking. It's actually called a walk and talk through because we walk and talk through and we sort of solve problems immediately, come up with solutions, help you move forward.
So somebody looks at your website or is recommended.
Yeah.
They'll get in touch.
Yeah.
And then.
So if they want to they just want like an instant solution, and we're going to book that consultation, then they email us through the website and we book it in with you and off you go. Lovely, done. If you are going to work with us for our conception to completion, then we come in and we meet first because we've got to make sure it's a long journey and we need to make sure that we get on, from both sides. Yeah. So then we come and ideally we meet in the building unless it's new construction, in which case we'll meet somewhere else and we'll just chat through what are the plans, what are your wishes and your wants, and we'll talk through about what it looks like to work with us. So that's done before anything. And then obviously from there, we go away and we put together like a fee proposal and we move forward from that.
Okay. So what if somebody isn't quite sure what they want?
If they aren't quite sure, we always start with a phone call anyway. So we'll chat through. If somebody really wants, so the walk and talk is that we are giving design expertise for 2 hours. So sometimes people will start with that anyway because they want those, it's invaluable, whatever. And then we'll move on to working together on a bigger scale. So if you want that, then book our walk and talk because it's brilliant. Because it might be that you're at the beginning of a project, you don't know what to do with the building at all. You've bought something maybe without doing your due diligence, and you now need to see whether the figures are gonna stack up. Yeah. And so we can talk through and give you some sort of top level costs of what you're looking at. Then book that, because if we're just going to meet to see what it's going to be like to work together, then it's not a 2-hour session. Obviously, it's just we're meeting, we're just seeing if there's a synergy, and then we'll put a fee proposal together and move on. So that's our 2 offerings. But the obviously the one where we work together on a longer time, we have a 10-step process. It's a bit like how you go on and on about that you're all about strategy. I feel all I talk about is my 10-step process, but that's because. I've spent years sort of creating it and making sure that it just flows and it works so well.
So, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, go.
Oh, I'm not sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
How did you get to a position where you built this 10-step process?
Yeah, just trial and error. Okay. Like I would try out so many different ways of how the client experience should go and the sort of steps of the process. And then eventually, 6 years in, I'm like, this is, and it could change again. You're always tweaking. After every project, we sit down and we do the takeaways of what went well. And sometimes we'll tweak a few steps. But at the moment, this is how it works really, really well. So shall I go into this?
Please.
Please, 100%. You're going to love every minute. So number one step, no pressure. I've got to remember all the steps. Number one step is that we start with, we call it a drill down chat. And that's because in the nicest possible way, we drill our client for like 2 to 3 hours. So that sounds horrible, doesn't it?
Nice link to construction, drill down.
Yeah, I hadn't even thought about it like that. Okay. But anyway, obviously.
Every day's a school day.
Every day's a school day. But different demographics, it works in different ways. So for like a homeowner, it's all about, how do you as a family want to live in that house? How do you want it to flow? How do you want it to feel? It's all about the personal experience. For commercial clients, it's sort of understanding your brand, what's going to make your USP, and weaving that and making you stand out in a competitive market. And then for our investors, it's all about the facts and the figures, and then it's demographic analysis as well. So really understanding who is going to be the end user and what are they going to want. So that is built into that 2 to 3 hours.
That's really encouraging.
Together. Yeah. And that gives us all the information that we need. So although it feels like quite a lot from, our client's point of view, it means that then we've got everything to build our blocks with. So that is step one.
Wow, that's a big step one.
It's a big step one, isn't it?
Fact-find type.
Yeah. And
thing.
Lots of people use it in different ways. So for homeowners, if you're a Pinterest lover, you've probably got a whole Pinterest board going and you've created loads of inspirational images and you share all of that with us. If you are an investor, essentially don't.
What's Pinterest?
You don't. Milesh is like, I've not even heard of it. Don't make me go and create any design boards. So it's really down to, the individuals, how they want to use the time. And so then from there, we go into step 2, which is when we build out our detailed layout and our conceptual design.
Okay.
And that is literally a detailed layout of everything that is going into the building.
So that's where, as a client, we'll get some output. Get to see
you get
stuff.
to see, because we've learned about everything that's important and everything that we now need to weave into this building.
And this is your first kind of playback.
100%. It's our playback, and we do it with conceptual designs because it's quite hard to understand a layout just as a 2D format. But when you've got conceptual boards that go with it, you can understand the look and the feel and the design direction that this project is going to take.
Cool.
So that's step 2, which leads us into step 3, which is basically our presentation of that.
Okay.
And we call it our design direction meeting because it's our touch point with the client. This is the layout that we really believe is going to work for the building and for you. How does that land? And this is the look and feel of where we want to take this design journey.
Okay, cool.
So step 3, everyone's exhausted. They've stopped listening.
You're winning. Okay, so those first 3 steps are really about understanding the needs and then you having the opportunity to kind of play back some concepts, some ideas
100%
that you can then go forward with.
Because then once we've understood that and potentially there's some revisions involved, we want our clients to be happy with the layout because we actually then sign off that layout.
Okay.
Because the design details is step 4, and the design details is everything that layers over the top of the layout, if you like. So design details is everything from lighting plans and electrical plans and heating plans and flooring and kitchens and bathrooms.
Cushions or not yet?
Cushions do not come into play right now. But the design of the actual inside of the building is, endless drawing packages and construction details. And we create then this internal scope of work for our contractors.
Right.
So if you've got a contractor on board, it's something that they can then take and follow and build with, which means that they're super efficient. It gets done much more, it gets faster, and your costs before you start.
And it's very specific.
It's very
which
specific.
Means that the contractor has less wiggle room.
That's exactly it. Because if you've done a renovation before, you may see PC sums, which I personally hate, because a PC sum means that's basically going to change. But if you've spec'd everything out early on before that spade goes in the ground, there's no PC sums.
There's no PC.
It's a sum. Exactly. You know exactly what it's going to cost. And if you haven't got a contractor on board, then this can be part of the tender package. So then you can take that out and you can get accurate costs back.
Okay.
So that is 4. It's a lot.
So step 4 is done.
Yeah.
Continue.
5 is joinery, and how much bespoke joinery goes into a building is really dependent on, the level of finish, I guess. If we are dealing with a developer and this is a high-end luxury development, we are going to be putting in a lot of bespoke joinery.
Yeah.
If we're doing an HMO, we're putting in none. So that really varies, that step.
Okay.
6 is presentation of all the costs and all of the selections.
Wow. Okay. It's like to the nth degree. They would have seen something before.
They would have seen, So they would have seen the conceptual design and they understand.
And costs at that point?
They would have gotten a rough idea of costs. Okay. But at step 6, you are going to get, to build this is what it's costing.
Right.
We haven't put in your sofas and your cushion. The cushion cost is not there right now because that is something that is not integral to the build. We always see furniture and furnishings as they obviously make a room, but they can come later if you're a homeowner, and you might not even do it if you're in developing world. Yeah. So they are a later stage, but 6 is full. Okay. Here's the big number. Is that going to work? If not, let's start to edit, pivot, change. Before
and there is opportunity at that point for value engineer.
To value engineer, definitely, 100%.
And you're open to that.
And we are 100% open to that. And that's why it's so important to work with us early on, because if you start really, really early and we can get all the way to 6 before that spade hits the ground, we know. And if there's suddenly like, oh, this cost has come out way too high, you know, we have scaled back extensions because suddenly it's like, whoa, you know, so you have to get the work in, do it early.
Okay. It's all about due diligence.
It's all, and again, you haven't mentioned it,
Thank
but and then when we get to step 7, we are kind of on the ground. So it's boots on the ground. It's us working. We haven't got a spade in our hand, but we are there with the construction team. And we call it project fulfillment because we don't manage contractors. They are in charge of the build. We're in charge of the design, but it's all about collaboration.
So you're part of the design team, meetings if it's a development or conversion. You're part of that development team.
Yes.
And involved in all the meetings and on-site stuff. And
I love to be working closely with the contractors because I like to check in and be like, this is what we've designed. Even in the conceptual stage, if the contractor's on board, do you think this will work? Is there any major cost implications if they go this design direction?
Or project manager, I assume.
Well, or project manager. 100%. We're checking in. Again, we've checked in with structural engineers at this point. You know, how is this going to impact the design if we do this?
Got it.
So the more collaborative that everybody is, it can make or break a project. Okay. You know, I can't stress it enough. So we are on site a lot and problems come up all the time. I've never worked on a project where something hasn't come up.
Yeah. So for investors, developers looking to get into it or already in it, you'll know. But you have to have an element of this and just have the right mindset to adapt.
You do.
And learn. Use your team to understand the situation and what hasn't gone to plan.
Yeah.
And then it's down to you. It's on you to then pave the way forward using your specialists.
You're 100%. So that takes us through to that, and then we get into the pretty bit. Finally, you get to some cushions and some
sofas.
So
we're on step 8.
Sorry, step 8 is actually when we're managing the ordering of all of the flooring, kitchens, blah blah blah. 9, we're into pretty stuff. So you get to we're choosing sofas and cushions and fabrics and all of the bits that we're famously.
Okay. So just winding back to 8 then. So you, in terms of ordering, is there a bit of overlap with the main contractor potentially?
Yes.
And how does that work?
We work it out early on. So predominantly what it happens is they will be in charge of ordering anything that's construction based.
Okay.
Yeah. But there might be a slight switch over that they order like all the internal doors or the hardware, but we agree it early on. We're in charge of ordering the bathrooms, the kitchens, the flooring, all of that sort of stuff. Directly.
Okay.
And the reason why is we get basically discounts and we share our discounts with our clients. So it's another saving. So although some clients choose to go directly and buy it themselves, well, the minute you do, you don't get the discount and you're in charge of then managing all of those orders, making sure you get everything to site on time and all of the discrepancies.
So what about with controversial question?
Yeah.
What about how do contractors feel about that? Because equally they get discounts and sometimes they pass on, sometimes they don't.
Yes, well, that's why it's a conversation early on.
Okay.
I think it's fairly straightforward. Like anything that is to do with the interior design is us.
Yeah.
We aren't going to be ordering the concrete or the steels, you know. So it's quite I think.
And I suppose if you've got a contractor that's getting a bit funny about it, then are they the right contractor?
Yeah, it goes back to making sure that you're a collaborative team.
Yeah.
And everybody is a team player.
Okay, so we're on to cushions, number 9.
Number 9 is cushions. Yeah, so we get to do the pretty bits.
Have you got one of them tools that in the middle of the cushion, you're meant to do that?
Oh, my God. No, I do not. Honestly, Milesh, we're going to fall out.
You love a cushion, I know.
It's because I go on and on about the fact that people think we are just cushion fluffers. And we're not. We do a lot more than we do fluff and mean
You've
cushion.
got 10 steps.
Okay, there's a whole 10 steps. And we only get to cushions at number 9. That's how low down it is on our list of priorities. But number 9, we look at the furniture. And we will have looked at it early on. So it will be in a lot of the design early on. But the reason it comes later is because for some members of our, for some of our business owners, they don't even get to furniture. I'm sure there's loads of developments you wouldn't even put furniture in.
Yeah.
And
you might stage up.
You might stage, but
a little bit.
But actually, if your structural interior design elements are right, which is your flooring and your kitchens, your bathrooms, if they're strong enough, you might not need to even stage it.
Yeah.
So anyway, 9 is where we get to the pretty bits. And then 10 is the installation and the styling, where we make it look fabulous. And then you get to enjoy it and you're just blown away.
What do you love best out of those 10? Apart from all of
Oh
it,
my gosh, it's so hard. I really like layouts and conceptual design.
not 9?
I love 10 when I get to fluff the cushions.
Finally, you've cracked.
So that was a lot from my end of it. Milesh, what's it like to work with you?
So similar to your 2 offerings,
Yeah.
or 2B I have as well.
Okay.
So one and done, no strings is the first one. So if somebody's got a deal they want some help with to validate, offers they want to put out, they might be stuck on a refurb, might have some issues, or they just want to set a bit of a plan on how to get started or how to scale their business. There's a one-off process. So what happens, people connect with me, I will offer a free 15 to 30 minute call or meeting.
Discovery call is what I like to call it.
Something like that, where we'll just understand more about each other and what they're looking for and whether or not I can help them. And touching on what you said earlier about, you know what, I'm using it to validate them as to whether there's a decent match. Likewise, they should be doing the same.
Yeah.
You know, do they resonate with me, my personality? Yeah. Can you see us working together?
Yeah.
And so at the end of that, we'll agree which kind of path they want to take. If it's a one-off call, then that's what we'll do. We'll book in. So contract, invoice goes out. Once that's all signed and settled, some pre-work goes out. And the idea with that is that I want information ahead of the meeting so that, you know, the individual gets more value when we are together.
Yeah.
So it's quite...
So they've got to do a bit of homework.
It's quite a bit of homework just to get their thinking caps on. And then I'm armed with that before the meeting so we can really add some solid value to it.
And how long does those meetings last?
An hour.
Okay, yeah.
I say an hour. I'm not very good at my time.
No,
so
sometimes
sometimes
you
it does
longer.
go over. But until we get it done, as long as it's not ridiculous.
Yeah, you're not there all day.
Yeah. So that's the one-off. And then the annual program is over 4 quarters. So playing to my strengths around strategic kind of direction and planning and all that sort of stuff. It's same setup. So free call to start with. And then it's a session every quarter for 4 quarters. And the first one is very much about really challenging why you want to get into property, what it is you want from it. Let's get some stakes in the ground around time, money, what the ultimate plan is or goal is over a whatever period. And then, you know, people walk away with a bit of an action plan for the next 3 months and what they want to try and achieve. And then Q2, Q3 is about, right, have you done what you should have done?
Okay.
Where are your stumbling blocks? What do you need from me to move forward? Bit of an action plan. And then the 4th session is more of a kind of annual review really on, did you do what you set out to do? If not, why not?
Yeah.
And then what does it look like for the next period? And then at that point, we decide whether or not
you're going to move forward again.
Yeah. So 2B is for people who are looking for that little bit more hands-on accountability. They might have knowledge gaps that they just want me to kind of check in with them on a bit more frequently than every quarter.
I was going to say, if somebody's like finding their first property, do they then sort of want to like run it by you?
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm available on the annual program or the monthly one. I'm available throughout the period.
Yeah.
Within reason, I tend to come back within a couple of days.
Yeah.
But I love a WhatsApp, so yeah, it's fairly quick. But yeah, there is that access as well via email or WhatsApp.
Yeah.
If it's I've offered on this deal, about to offer on this deal, can you just give it a quick once over?
Yeah.
Fine, happy to do that. Or if they run into problems with, you know, refinances or money or builders or whatever, then I'm there to kind of offer them some
like
support
a hand holding.
Yeah, and I think that's proving quite valuable to people because lots of people I work with have either considering doing some training or have come out of some training and there's still a gap.
Yeah.
You know, they're still not doing what they want to be doing or progressing as quickly as they'd like.
Yeah.
And so I tend to find that I'm kind of that conduit between the education and getting the first deal or whatever over the line.
Yeah.
Just because it's tailored, it's one-to-one, and it's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money, and that's the thing. Like, even if you've gone on a course and you think you understand it, actually putting that into practice is another thing.
Yeah, and actually, you know, when you're spending thousands on these courses, there's another level of pressure there to say, actually, I've spent all this money, but I need to make it work for myself. And so, that little extra investment we'll just help them to get over the line with it.
Yeah.
Really. So that's a whistle-stop tour on how things work. Obviously, people can connect to me on the website or social media, or at our networking events.
Yeah. And do you tend to start working with people at the beginning of their property journey?
It varies.
Okay.
It really varies. Some people have got portfolios. They might be looking to shift strategy. So like we did, we bought income and rental stuff, and then we shifted to more capital approach. If people are in that transition or wanting to know a bit more about different strategies, they'll come to me. I've even done portfolio reviews. So one guy I saw a little while ago, he had a portfolio of 12 properties, and we literally went through every single one, worked out which ones are performing and which ones aren't. Off the back of that, he took the decision that actually there were 2 or 3 that weren't doing what they should be or bringing in what he wanted. And so he sold them and bought ones that were performing better.
Okay.
So that 1 hour, hour and a half, whatever it was, paid him dividends because it enabled him to look at his business from a top-down approach and really review the performance of all of them, and then go and take some action to kind of fix it and help him progress. So that type of thing is quite common.
Yeah. And when people get on that initial discovery call with you, what are they saying is the main reason why they want to work with you, or what they're looking for someone like you?
It's kind of lack of knowledge, a little bit of accountability, because it can be quite lonely. As I said to you a few episodes ago, when I first started, it was just me and these 4 walls.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm doing this property thing.
Yeah.
Well, that's cool, but like, it's good to just bounce ideas off people and just have somebody that's done it.
Yeah.
So accountability, validation, a little bit of knowledge, experience sharing is critical because, like I said, it can be a lonely place, and just knowing what somebody else has done and that can relate to where you're at, I think counts for quite a lot.
100%.
So that they're the key sort of reasons. And some people are just like one-off. I just need one little push and then I'm off again.
I just need that bit of support and then I'm going to go.
Yeah.
And after they've worked with you, what's the feedback, Milesh? I hope it's good.
Yeah, pretty good. I think people don't realise, and it's this thing around cost versus investment. People don't realise until they've done it that actually that has helped.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And there is a little bit of, it can come across as quite simple, but actually, if it was that simple, why haven't you done it?
Yeah, why haven't you done it? 100%.
Yeah. And so some of the things that we do, certainly around challenging the why do you want to get into it? How much time have you got? How much money have you got?
Yeah.
What property do you want to be buying? Why is it those areas? Building relationships with agents, whatever it may be, can sound pretty simple in isolation, but when you've got a combination of those things to do, it can be quite daunting.
And the overwhelm is huge.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's this whole thing of social media, right?
Yeah.
Which we haven't touched on, but social media is amazing.
Yeah.
But equally, it can drag you down because if all you're seeing is people doing, look at this before and after picture and look how many properties I bought in 5 minutes, it doesn't serve you.
No.
And so to understand that, and then, you've got to have your own social media presence ideally, that helps to understand how you kind of portray yourself and what you want to do with that.
Yeah.
So I think there's some commonality in terms of that value piece that we can both offer. And it's really interesting to see from your perspective that obviously getting in early doors is really important, and clarity on that process and the 10 steps.
The 10 steps
you love, and where the cushion fluffing comes into it.
It's so far down the line.
Yeah. So hopefully that gives people a bit of a...
I think so.
What does it mean to work with us?
Even me sitting here listening to you talk, and we've been friends for a year, I was like, I didn't quite understand it was that involved.
Yeah.
And so I think it's kind of bringing clarity to anybody. Like, what does it look like?
Completely.
You don't understand kind of everybody's role, do you, in the property world?
Cool. I think we've covered quite a lot there.
I think so. I feel like I've prattled on for hours.
Yeah, you did a little bit. That's fine. There's value there.
There's value.
So that brings us to the end of another episode. Thank you very much for joining.
Yes.
And feel free to share and like and subscribe.
Definitely. And leave even a review if you want to, but only if it's good. That would be nice. And we will see you next time.